All right. So if you have stumbled upon this video, then most likely you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you're tired of being a statistic. I was doing some reading a couple of weeks ago, and I've had some conversations with people who are paycheck to paycheck, and they're like, yo, I am struggling. And clearly, right, they're not the only ones. Most Americans, as you can see from this lovely image here, can't afford a $1,000 expense. And if you think this is just a one-off report, like, oh, it's not really that serious. No, like legit, the ABA journal said the same thing. And actually, if you could read the microscopic text that's here, it's nearly half of women. Like, it's something like 36% of men, but it's almost half of women. And so basically, odds are, if you are an American, right, there's a 50-50 shot that you don't have $1,000. So if your tire pops, or if you have a medical emergency, God forbid, you or a family member or something happens, you don't have $1,000 to be able to pick up and handle that situation. And I know that powerlessness has to feel like the weight of the world just crushing in on you. So I'm making this video specifically for you guys. And I'm going to make you a couple of promises with this video, okay? The first promise that I'm going to make to you, I'm not going to make you get another job. Anybody who tells you like, oh, well, you need another job, that's like, how many people do you know in your life personally who have a second job or another job who are actually doing better, who are doing well, right? It's like, it's a paradox. Like, one job doesn't cut it, and two jobs doesn't cut it, and you're exhausted, right? So I'm not going to do that. I promise you, I'm not going to tell you to get another job. The second thing, I'm not going to tell you that we got to do 0 day to expiration options or any kind of crazy financial wizardry that requires you to do like 600 hours of reading. I promise you that I will not make you do any of that. But what I need you to promise me is that you can bring discipline. If you can bring discipline, I can bring you a solution, and we can make you move out of statistic territory and into the upper, 46% of Americans. So if you're rocking with that and you can say like, okay, I can give you discipline, and I will hold my commitment to you, okay? So before we get started on this journey of saving our first $1,000, I need you to do one thing for me, if you can. If you have $20 sitting in a checking account right now that you don't need for any of your life expenses or whatever, take it and transfer it into your savings account right now. Like, pause the video and do that. Are we on pause? All right, beautiful. So if you just unpause this video and you sent that $20 into your savings account from your checking account, you are ahead of probably 95% of the people that are viewing this video right now. And I'm proud of you because you're 2% of the way to your goal. It doesn't seem like much right now, but it's going to add up. I promise you. You are the bomb. All right, so now let's get into it. Like, let's get the nitty gritty. You're ready to learn. You're ready to make this money. Let's go. So, step one, this is what I need you to do. I need you to go and open up your banking app. So if you bank with Chase, if you bank with Bank of America, Wells Fargo, I mean, you name it, PNC Bank, I love PNC. Whatever bank accounts you got where you use your money and you do your transactions, any of your debit cards, whatever's attached to the debit cards that you're using day to day, I need you to go in and find your e-statements, which is basically your banking statements. It shows what you've spent over the past month. I need you to go back for the last 2 months and pull those statements. So right now it is September, so I need August and I need July. Get those 2 statements from the previous 2 months, not the current one. And I need you to print those out, okay? So go do that, pause the video, and come back to me. All right, so once you got that, I need you to grab one of 2 things, a pencil or highlighter, or both, I'm not mad at you if you got both. Now, you got all your paperwork laid out in front of you. What you're going to do in step 2 is identify your discretionary spending. Now pause, you're like, what? I thought we weren't gonna have to learn anything crazy. It's okay, discretionary spending, it sounds like it's super complicated, but it's really not. This is how I like to look at it. If it doesn't get you to work, if it doesn't put a roof over your head, and it doesn't put food into you or your loved one's stomach, then it's probably a discretionary expense. those cheap plastic Shein tank tops that you wear that, you know, you're busting out of on the sides with a busted can of biscuits, yeah, that's a discretionary expense. We don't need that. We should be, nah, right? The Starbucks trips, discretionary. The DoorDash, discretionary. You know what I'm saying? Like anything that is not, you know, required for you to live. Insurance is not discretionary. You have to have insurance. Like literally the bare bones basics. Any spending that is for leisure or pleasure and isn't actually for your day-to-day life to make sure that you make it through. You say, well, Hunter, I need a little something to be able to live. Like, what are you talking about? I understand, and I get that. And we'll get, you know, I'm going to give you a little leeway. Just stay with me. But right now, this is an emergency. This is like a 4-alarm fire. It doesn't get more serious than this, right? So I want you to go in, and anytime that you see a discretionary expense, highlight it. And then, after you've highlighted all of your discretionary expenses, I need you to add all of them up. So you'll have a total for the month last month, and then a total for the month before that, okay? Because, you know, I don't know what month you're watching this video. So just figure out those totals, okay? Just add all those numbers up together. Boom, 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 boom. All right? Now, you say, okay, Hunter, I got 2 totals. What happens next? What happens next is step 3. So step 3 is to set your savings rate, okay? What does that mean? You're going to see those 2 numbers, and you're going to take the smaller of the 2 numbers, okay? Because we're going to stay realistic, right? That gives you, so maybe, you know, your first number was 300 for last month, but the month before that was 250. We're going to take 250. So now that extra $50, that's your joy for the month. Whatever it is that you want to do. If you want to spend it on Hennessy and an eighth, be my guest, right? Hopefully you got a good plug, because $50 don't buy that much anymore. So, you know what I'm saying? I need you to lock in here. Focus with me. So, what does this number mean? Why do I care about this, the smaller of the 2 numbers? This number is your savings rate. Each month, you are going to be saving this amount, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to divide that number from 1,000, and we're going to get a total, right? So let's say we'll stick with the example we already had going, 250. You're going to say, okay, well, how many times does 250 go into 1,000, right? And you should know basic math. That's 4. So what does the number 4 mean, right? When you get your calculator out and you've done the math and you're dividing that by 1,000, you get a number, boom. So you get 4. That means that in order for you to move up from the bottom half of Americans just to the top, just the top 50%, really like 46%, it will take you 4 months to save up $1,000, okay? So stay with me here. If you need a visualization app, if you need like me to make a resource, like a little pie chart that you can plug everything into Google Docs or whatever, I can do that for you. I just need you right now to figure out your number, highlight it, circle it, put it on, you know, your wall above your bed, whatever you got to do. But that is your number, okay? We figured out our savings rate. So now, what's the next step, Hunter? The next step is to actually commit to the plan. That's step 4. So celebrate, number 1, the fact that you now know how long it's going to take you to move up into the upper, you know, half of Americans, because most people are afraid to look. And I don't blame them, right? It's a daunting task, and you really have to be honest with yourself. But you are sick and tired of being sick and tired. You're sick and tired of having to like cringe when you swipe your card at the grocery store because you don't know if you got enough or if you got too much stuff, right? And you're tired of making the decision for like, well, can I really afford to actually like, you know, put a full tank of gas in my car? Like this is fight or flight conversations that we're having with ourselves on a day-to-day basis, and we got to stop. Like, it's not healthy for you. It's not healthy for your finances, and you don't deserve to be feeling this way, but you've now created a plan. You should feel empowered, because when you have a plan, all you got to do is execute the plan, baby, and then all of a sudden, the life that you want to live is right there. You're living it, right? So, first of all, celebrate, okay? Second thing I need you to do, if you don't, and you weren't one of the people who paused the video at the beginning and transferred $20 from checking to savings, I need you to open up a savings account. Just go over to the bank that you're already banking with. Tell them, hey, I want a savings account. Bada boom, bada bing. You should already have one, but if you don't, just go open up a savings account. You know, you're committing to the plan. Let's actually start making it happen, okay? So now, there are some people who would say, well, why don't I open up a high yield savings account? For now, do you. I will recommend to you, though, in the future, that there are better avenues that you can use to save your money, to have it grow than a high yield savings account. But for this example, since this is literally just we're not even at the foundation. We're like flagging off the ground, right? Before we even start pouring the foundation on top of it. High yield savings account is gorgeous. Open up a savings account, gorgeous, okay? We're going to crawl before we walk. We're going to walk before we run. We're going to run before we sprint at the Olympics, right? So it's all good, baby. I love it, okay? So open up that separate savings account, because we don't need to keep our funds commingled. That's a recipe for disaster. We want to set ourselves up for success here, right? So open up that little separate savings account. Start placing your money in there, right? You can do it at the beginning of the month, or every time that you get paid. If you want to, maybe you get paid bi-weekly. So if you had $250 that was saved at the end of the month, or that you spent at the end of the month on your discretionary, you can put $125 every single pay period into that savings account. $125 twice a month is $250. So after 4 months, you will hit your goal, right? Boom. And even better if you can automate those transfers, so you don't even have to see the money. It's not even in your realm of existence, right? We're trying to make this as easy as possible with as little effort as possible. You're literally not changing anything in your life. You're just having the discipline to say no to yourself, to sacrifice today for tomorrow, right? So boom. What's step 5, Hunter? This seems pretty straightforward. Step 5, my friend, is to actually avoid the traps. And that's kind of what I touched upon at the end of step 4. We want to make sure that we have the right headspace, the right mentality with this, because yes, $1,000 is not it's not the whole, enchilada. It doesn't pay for 6 months of rent. It's not a huge amount of money, but it's significant enough that it gets you out of survival mode, right? So whenever the temptation arises and that little demon is talking in your ear and saying, well, a single Chipotle bowl won't matter, or I could really just go and buy a carton of cigarettes. I understand that. I understand. You're saying $20 is 2%. That doesn't matter. But think about it. If you were to go every single day of just 1 week out of the month, there's 4 weeks in a month, just one of those weeks, or even just going 2 times 1 week and then once all the other weeks of the month, 5 times, and you spent $20 on lunch, that's $100. That's 10% of your goal right there, just straight out the gate, right? So we want to set ourselves up for success. The $20, the $10, the $5, it does matter. It does add up. In this scenario, we have to be more disciplined than just saying yes to all of our whims, right? So it does. Treat that money as such. Treat it accordingly. This is part of your goal. This is what you're striving for, right? And you can do it. You can make it. So don't fall for the okie doke. Don't get rocked to sleep either by saying, hey, I've saved up $600, $700, $800. I can go spend $200 and go to the club, and all shots are on me because it's dollar shot night, and I can pull a baddie and bring her home. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're sacrificing tomorrow for today. Don't do it. Tomorrow's version of you is on their knees begging you not to. You have to stay locked in. Do not look left and right. You know where the path is. Stay on the path, okay? You can do this. I'm trying to hold your head and be listen, please, for your well-being, I'm begging you, okay? And then the final trap that I really think that people should avoid in this scenario is, really just thinking that $1,000 is the end goal, okay? Like I said earlier, we're not even pouring the foundation. We're setting the flags up so that we can pour the foundation, so that we can have a foundation to actually start building our real financial home on, okay? So don't get excited when you get this first $1,000, because you are going to get it. You're gonna hit this goal. I don't know if this is a surprise for you, but you're gonna hit this goal, and it's gonna be sooner than you expect, and you're gonna be like, oh, but don't get rocked to sleep. Don't get rocked to sleep. It's so easy. Understand that mistakes happen, right? Inevitably, the way that the world works, like I'm 28 years old, but I know for a fact the way the world works is you're going to have $700 saved up, and then some lunatic is going to drive down your local freeway with a box full of tacks and is going to go whee out their front door and throw them out, and you're going to yeah, like that, and you're going to drive to work and you're going to run over them and it's going to pop 3 of your 4 tires and you're going to be out of pocket $400 and you're going to watch that money get chopped in half. Like, I'm telling you now, so it doesn't hit you like as a surprise. Most likely, with most of you who are listening, that's exactly the kind of scenario that's going to happen. Something out of left field. However, as annoying as it's going to be to have to restart, you think about how far you've come, okay? This money is for emergencies if something like that were to happen. God forbid, I'm not even going to bring up a healthcare scare. Literally, your tires are going to pop, or your HVAC is going to shoot out some weird sediment and you're going to be like, what's going on? And it's going to cost you $300 to get somebody out there to fix it, right? The purpose is peace of mind. The purpose is not to turn up. Like, you can turn up for free, like if you really wanted to, right? But what I'm telling you is it's giving you peace of mind, okay? So mistakes are going to happen. Problems and accidents are a part of life. Do not get rocked to sleep. Everything is fine. It's okay if you build it up and then, you take 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. You're still 1 step ahead of where you were before, okay? So I don't want you to be feeling like, oh, I can't do it, so you know what? Screw it. Like, don't give up on yourself like that, okay? Because it's detrimental. You're going to get to your milestone, which brings me to step 6, the milestone, okay? So when you save this first $1,000, you're, like I said, you're already ahead of basically 50% of Americans. Like, when you're out and about, 1 of every 2 people that you're seeing, most likely you're better off than them, right? So this is your launch pad, right? From this, we can pour the foundation and we can start actually having conversations about things that bring us more money, that take us really from paycheck to paycheck with $1,000 saved to, oh, not only am I not paycheck to paycheck, but like I can start making decisions based off of desire and like want versus need. I'm not operating out of lack. I'm operating out of abundance. The decisions become totally different. The conversations you have with yourself become totally different. The way that you look at the world becomes totally different. So I want you to understand, like I said, that the $1,000 is not the end. This is really just the beginning. And that brings me to step 7, right? A lot of people don't think about this, but you built this money up with discipline. And step 7 is discipline begets discipline, okay? There's a reason why you see all these rich people online and it seems so head ass when you don't know what's going on. And they're like, yeah, I get up at 4 a.m. and then I go for a 6-mile run. And then after my 6-mile run, I go and do neuroplasticity testing and I do pickleball. Then I go and get in the sauna and I do red light therapy. Then I shower and I'm at the office by 8:30. Like, it seems super head ass when you hear that. Like, bro, come on, like, what are you talking about? But the thing is, discipline begets discipline. And the reason why I say that is, right, when you become the person who's changed their identity and says, you know what, I'm the kind of person that I'm in a different bracket. Like, I'm not average. I'm moving my way up. And you're denying just going out to party for no reason. What is there to celebrate about, right? You're fighting for your life every day. Like, yeah, life is a celebration, but like, it's not really that fun to just pour poison down your throat and, get bombed out of your gourd and spend money that you didn't have. So that way when you actually sober up, you're in a worse position than you were before, right? That's not actually fun or celebratory. You're just digging yourself deeper. And the discipline begets discipline because you've changed your identity. You're no longer the person that identifies with always having to go out, always having to spend money or do all these things that are detrimental to your goals. Now all of a sudden you're saying, well, I could go out to eat, but I could also cook at home. And then you say, well, I don't really like how I feel after I, have cooked this super deep fried meal at home. So maybe I'll try to like change it up. I'll eat a little bit more vegetables and I'll get some more roughage in my diet, and I'll, go for the leaner protein instead of going for something that's fried. And now all of a sudden you're like, oh man, I'm kind of looking kind of nice. That Shein top that I was looking like the Pillsbury Doughboy in, all of a sudden I'm starting to look kind of nice, like Giselle Bundchen or something. You know what I'm saying? So everything starts to change, and it just waterfalls. Suddenly you're healthier, you're feeling better, you want to keep feeling better, so you keep doing what you're doing, and it's a positive feedback loop. Enough of the negative feedback loops, more positive, right? We're changing who we are, and discipline is like a muscle. The more that you work on it, the more that it's going to strengthen. And then it becomes, well, it's second nature for me to be disciplined, so it's not really all that hard. All of a sudden, your life is normal. You're used to living your life this way, and you're just building up money on the back end as a result of you having this discipline that's already old hat for you, right? Sorry to use, country sayings. I'm countryer than a pulled possum sandwich whenever I get rolling. But I'm just saying, you've got to allow yourself to change who you identify as, and you have to commit to this goal, because that discipline is going to snowball, and eventually you're not even going to have to think about it, and you're going to be able to have this money growing and piling up behind you, and it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be it's so good. So yeah, like I said, it's not just saving money, you're changing the trajectory of your future. And like, while I know $1,000 doesn't seem like it's going to change your bloodline, it starts with the first dollar, and $1 turns into 10, turns into 100, turns into 1,000, 10K, 100,000, and then the rest is history. So we're just getting started. This is just the beginning. I don't want you to feel like, oh, I can't do it, because you absolutely can, and you will. Not only can you will. Okay. So step 8. The road ahead is really the only step that's left. Like, just getting to your first 1,000. After you get there, you'll watch another video that I'll upload here for you, and we'll talk about going from 1,000 to 5,000, right? So don't let the first 1,000 just cloud you and spend it on something you don't. The road ahead is going to be, I'm going to keep, working with you. We're going to keep building and building and building, but we're going to talk about it, getting that 3 to 6 month emergency fund. We're going to start talking about investing down the road from now. Now's not the time, but we will. And it'll be simple, and it'll be easy for you to do. And you're going to say, oh, this actually wasn't as bad as I thought. And I'm actually wealthier than I thought I could be, much sooner than I thought I could be, right? But until then, this is my final, thing to say to you. We're going to go back through it. I need you to do the following steps for me. Number 1, I need you to go and I need you to find and gather all of your e-statements, okay? Number 2, I need you to highlight your discretionary spending. We talked about that. Remember, discretionary, all the stuff that's unnecessary. As long as it's keeping a roof over your head, feeding you, insurance, or getting you to work, then it's okay. Otherwise, throw it out. And then after that, I need you to calculate. Add up the total for each month. Remember, we're doing 2 months of statements. You could do 3 if you wanted to, but just look at the statements, find the smallest number out of all of those statements, however many you pull, that's going to be your rate, right? So we're going to take that and see how many times it takes for that amount or that number to go into 1,000. Whatever number you get, that's how many months it's going to take for you. And then from that, I just need you to execute on the plan, to say no to all those whims that you have of things that are deviating and taking your attention left and right, and you just stay locked in, okay? So I know for a fact that you can do it. And if you believe that you can do it, leave a comment. Leave a comment. I'll hold you accountable. Listen, I'll reach out. Don't threaten me with a good time. I love being on people's head. I'll be like, hey, did you go out this weekend? What were you doing? Were you reading? What were you doing? Hey, what's going on? I hope you're getting closer to your goal, right? Let me know. Talk to me. Don't be a stranger. You know what I'm saying? What I want you more than anything to know is that this is possible and you will hit this goal, okay? And if you liked what I talked about here today, I committed. I didn't tell you to get another job, did I? I didn't say you're going to have to do anything complicated and insane finance. You just had to add and divide, right? Easy peasy. If you liked what I talked about here, and if you think this is actionable, or if it worked for you, let me know, right? Leave me a comment. like the video and subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to have a lot more content all focused around finance, all focused around just all sorts of aspects of the financial world and investment world and political world. We're going to be all over with this page, but I'm hoping, my goal is to lead people away from poverty and to give them an education, right? A financial education, so that they can feel empowered and can empower people around them. Because knowledge begets knowledge, right? And once you've been exposed to knowledge, you can't be unexposed. So with that, I leave you guys today. I hope you have a phenomenal day. It is Friday, and I am ready to max and relax through the weekend. So I hope you are too. All right. Until next time. Peace.